Welcome, everyone, to Dead Talk Live. And today we have two very special guests on this special edition of Dead Talk Live. Help me welcome Lesley-Ann Brandt and Nathaniel Logan McIntyre. Guys, thank you so much for being here, and how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm recovering from ACL surgery actually. So
Ooh,
Uh,
ooh, that
not
sucks.
no I'm 3 weeks out and moving around pretty good. So I'll be back to my stunt work and the things I beating up boys.
And you're
So
awesome at that as well. Nathaniel, how you doing?
Good. I'm good. Thank you for having me first though. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm chilling, man.
It's awesome. So let's get started. I know you guys have a very busy day today. So the first question I want to pose to both of you guys, and we can go left to right. Leslie, I guess you can go first, and then Nathaniel. A movie like Horror Noire, which by the way, guys, is premiering on Shudder this Thursday, October 28th. Now, a movie like Horror Noire is long overdue where you have a predominantly African American cast and crew. Sad to say, this has been very slow moving, but there are not that many African Americans, especially in the horror genre. And that's very sad. And luckily, it's sort of trending and slowly to change that with directors like Jordan Pell and so on. What did you guys feel when you first found out that you were going to take part in this project? Let's start with Leslie.
I was so Shelby Stone, one of our executive producers. I worked with her on another show many years ago, and she's kind of like a mentor to me. We're developing another project together, and I was really excited to participate in the film. I think because, as a genre, horror has it's such a great genre to be able to touch on themes and social issues and ideas, particularly like around race,
Mm-hmm.
or in for some in a non-confrontational way,
Yeah.
and I think much in the same way that Lucifer kind of touched on a lot of themes and ideas, but we're in this world of like the devil and angels, etc. And I think it makes it more palpable for some people to perhaps pause and think about these issues. And I was excited, obviously, to participate in a film that was, for the most part, all black. Black hairstylists, black writers, black director. Above the line, below the line, uh, celebrating black talent was really special to be able to do it like with Shudder and with AMC. So I was excited to explore. Also, this character was
Yeah.
kind of really, she's got demons.
That's to put it mildly.
Yes, so to be able to kind of say goodbye to Mazikeen, even though she's a demon for a minute, and deal with someone who had her own demons. I always love exploring interesting characters, so I was very happy to join.
Very nice, very nice. Now, Nathaniel, as an up and coming star in Hollywood, what was the experience like for you to take part in this cast and crew of amazing black filmmakers?
Yeah. I mean, getting this part, I was super excited because me personally, I've never been involved with a horror movie or anything horror. So for me as an actor, it was really exciting to kind of step into this new kind of genre, new field, a little bit. And yeah, like you said, there hasn't been that many black made films or horror films out there, in the past, unfortunately. So with it now kind of starting to rise and more films, more horror black films coming out, I was really excited to now be able to be a part of that, of these upcoming horror films, these black made horror films. And I had a great time with the cast and the crew and everybody. Everybody was great.
That's awesome. Now, Leslie, your character, Miss LaFleur, has a dark and twisted past, like you mentioned. What was your initial reaction when you were auditioning for this role on how you were going to present Miss LaFleur to the audience? What was your approach?
I was offered the role, so I didn't audition. So I had like a short amount of time to kind of uh, I guess get into her skin. Initially, as a mother, I totally judged her. Totally judged her. Like, stay away from my child. um, but I think it made me pause and think about, well, what is it about, what makes people do these things, right? Have really inappropriate relations with people they shouldn't,
Mm-hmm.
In particular, and what about that? And I was reading articles of just different teachers who had sort of put themselves in that position. I think is it Kate Mara had a movie coming out where she played she was in a similar position. So I tried initially not to judge her. Mm-hmm. That's the thing, is that idea of like hurt people. So what was it about her and her past and her upbringing that the lake calls to or speaks to? But it is tricky. It certainly, I have a son, so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna know your teachers really well. A year ago.
And it's sad to say, but it has happened quite a bit in real life. It has happened. Now, Nathaniel, were there any hang-ups or a taboo element for you to take on this role of a student that was being seduced by your teacher?
When you mean wait, what do you mean by that?
Well, like just the like we talked about, this has happened in real life. Mm-hmm. And was it something that as an actor you were a little hesitant to approach, playing into something that has happened quite a few times in real life and has ended tragically?
I mean, coming into it, I don't think I thought of it as much, honestly, because I feel like, from the student's perspective, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like,
I know what you mean.
I know
what you mean. Yeah.
As a student's perspective, something like that might go around like being praised around school, honestly. From the student's perspective, obviously, we all know it's wrong. Even the students know that what they're doing or what's happening is wrong. But I mean, they would go along with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, for me as an actor, it wasn't too hard to step in the shoes of the role because I feel like he was also uncomfortable at the same time, which I feel like anybody would. Mm-hmm. So for me, stepping into it, it wasn't that big of an issue for me.
Now, towards the end of your segment, we saw that Ms. LaFleur had gained some influence over you, like going into the lake. What did you do to put yourself in that mind space? Okay, so here I am. I'm a student, and I have this really attractive teacher who likes me. Of course, you're feeling all bold and, cocky. And you go into the lake. How did you get yourself into that headspace of what a student would do in that situation? And do you think the way it was portrayed was accurately portrayed?
I think the way it was portrayed is like 100% accurate, honestly, because you can see the battle of him like wanting to and just leaving it alone at the same time, because in the story we see he is in a relationship and things like that. So him being persuaded by this teacher, being seduced by this teacher, it wasn't easy for him, and it's kind of a battle going on in his head because it's like, I have this really attractive woman in front of me, but I have a relationship at the same time, but it's like these opportunities, and it's kind of for me, I was trying to have that battle in my mind the whole time, like constantly. Whenever I was in a scene with Miss Lesley-Ann or Abby, Miss LaFleur, I would be thinking in the back of my head, oh, my character has a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
girlfriend at the end of the day kind of thing. So I tried to have that battle in my head at all times.
Now, Lesley, how would you describe your on-set chemistry working as actors with Nathaniel? Did you guys like click it? I mean, right away with the chemistry and because it was really authentic what you guys brought to us. Do you attribute a lot of that to the onset chemistry that you guys had?
Oh, of course. I feel like if you're in a scene with a partner who is willing to explore and play and, try ideas, or that's kind of the best scenario. I think, the thing about this particular segment is we were so limited on time that, we had to, by just, just by the situation, we had to figure out very quickly a rapport with each other, what we were comfortable, not comfortable with. And, that's the beauty of being actors and artists, is like you're thrown into the deep end and then like immediately like, oh, we're husband and wife, or we're brother and sister, or I'm a teacher seducing you. So let's just, go for it. It was a really, really, fun experience, challenging too at times, because of time, etc. But the work always came first, and I'm always really grateful to people I work with who have that, at the forefront.
Now, Nathaniel, like I said, as an up-and-coming star in this industry, did you find yourself going to Lesley-Ann and, asking her for some advice on how you guys should play this scene and that scene?
Daniel's more seasoned than I am. She's been acting with 7, so like, no, I'm not some veteran. That's the veteran.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed my time with Miss Lesley-Ann, off set or on set, but like off camera, just, sitting around, getting our makeup done. We would have conversations. I would ask her questions about, her experience as an actress and the things that she's done. And she gave me advice and was helping me with a couple of things. So, and she's a great actress. So it was wonderful working with her. I feel like our chemistry was really good on camera. And yeah, she's a great person.
Now, both of you it seems like you got very invested in your characters, especially you, Lesley-Ann. There's a lot to your backstory that was sort of touched upon, but we never really found out. We got clues here and there. Would you be interested, if the offer comes along, to further exploring the character of Miss LaFleur?
I mean, I never say never. I'm always grateful to work with a friend, sort of group of people. I think we were so limited again with the time, with what we could and couldn't explore with her. And it is based off of a short story.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, absolutely. I think there is a lot to explore in that world. And certainly I think this character, I was really interested to know, because we kind of pick up really quickly dead center where she's like struggling. I'd be interested to know how she got there. Because I, at the end of the day, regardless of her actions, I had a huge amount of compassion for her. So, absolutely. Yeah, I think she's kind of twisted, and I like to, go there.
We're not giving away any spoilers here, but you had some makeup on towards the end of the segment. How elaborate was that makeup? How long did you sit in the makeup chair to get done up like that?
The process for actually doing the full head cast was longer than the actual makeup.
Yeah.
And I've been in that position before, having done head casts and casting before for other projects. But again, we were so limited with time. So I had 2 wonderful special effects makeup artists who were in there touching up, reattaching things, and shading, etc., and doing. And I love that because it helps you feel. I always feel like how a character, what she dresses, what she wears. There's one scene where she's in a red dress, and it's like that color is never really seen throughout the movie, but it's like at a very specific point. Those are all intentional choices by myself and by like wardrobe. Same with like hair, the prosthesis. So how we got there was a journey, but once we were there, it was like, everyone get in. We need to, taking scales back and adding things, and yeah.
So the wardrobe throughout that segment, you're right, it does progress to the red dress. Is that just the evolution of the character, going from somebody who's buying this house, broken, dealing with devastation that we don't know exactly what that is, and the wardrobe plays a big part to her character arc in that segment?
I think that wardrobe has an incredible power to tell a story and certainly inform you how a character like walks into a room or into a situation. I think what that particular scene speaks to is that there's there's an internal battle for Abby between her and the demons, her and the lake, and I think she starts to lose that battle a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
You get to see that with makeup and hair and costume.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now, Nathaniel, Lesley has mentioned that you guys had very limited time shooting this. How much time did you guys get to shoot that segment?
How long was our shoot? Like 2 weeks? No, not even 2 weeks.
Right.
Like 8 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah.
Wow, that
I don't even remember.
Yeah, it was pretty short. It was about like 8 days, I think.
That's about the time it takes to shoot. Well, maybe a little less, a TV episode. I mean, Lesley, you would know, you've done a lot of TV, so it's about the TV shows take about 8 to 12 days, depending on the show.
That being said, we're doing water work. There's stunts. There's prosthetics. There's all kinds of other elements. There's prep for the next episode, and it was one crew. So they were, all hats off to our crew who hustled and really worked very hard to put our best foot forward, for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, Nathaniel, Lesley-Ann mentioned you've been acting since 7. Where does horror noir?
Or younger, I don't know.
7. It was 7 years.
Oh, okay,
Remember?
So where does horror noir sit so far in your career? Is it like your biggest break so far? Is it not? Where do you place horror noir so far in your career?
For me, this is actually a pretty important role, just because, going back to what I was saying earlier, this is going to be another black made film, a black made horror film coming up, so I'm just glad that I'm able to be a part of that, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
The whole movement of black horror. So I'm happy to be a part of that. I don't know if I'd say if it was like my biggest breakthrough, maybe, but it's definitely up there for sure.
Is this your first?
It's like a very adult role.
Yeah, very true. Is this your first foray into horror?
Yeah, this is my first anything horror. Yeah.
What are your thoughts? I mean, were you a horror fan before this? Did this make you a horror fan?
I personally love to watch horror films and things of that nature, but I never had the opportunity myself to be a part of it. So now being a part of it, it kind of feels like a whole different experience, because from watching a scary movie and being in it, it's totally different.
Yeah. Guys, I know you guys have a very busy day. I want to thank you so much. Again, for our audience, Horror Noir is premiering on Shudder this coming Thursday, October 28th. Lesley-Ann and Nathaniel's segment is called The Lake. It's actually the very first segment. There are 6 segments. It's a 2.5 hour long movie, but it just keeps you captivated. It's full of an awesome cast. Tony Todd is in it. Just an amazing cast, an amazing crew. I want to thank the both of you for coming on here and sharing with us your experience on shooting this film. I encourage all of our viewers to check it out. Lesley-Ann, Nathaniel, any final thoughts you guys want to share before we say goodbye?
No, thank you so much for supporting, and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Thank you. Thank you. How about you, Nathaniel?
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys tune in, watch the movie, enjoy.
Thank you. And thank you to our audience for tuning in. Until next time, on behalf of Lesley-Ann and Nathaniel and myself, stay safe, stay walking. Till next time, guys.
Bye.